Shridharam Krishnam Smayamana Mukhambujam Pitambaradharam Neelam Malya Chandana Bhushitam Radha Chitta Chakurendu Saundarya Sumahodadhim Parat Parataram Devam Brahmananda Kripanidhim Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhya Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshini Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayini Amba Tvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshini. This prayer has another beautiful and practically very relevant word, Anusandadhami. It is Anusandhan has some very nice connotations. It is Anusandhan, like Bhagavad Gita, is a scripture. It is a holy book, but it is not to be treated just as something that is worshipped as a ritual, or is to be read only as an act of piety, like people read, Chandi. Okay, it is considered a good thing to read Chandi or recite Vishnu Sahasranama as acts of piety. So Bhagavad Gita also is read by many as something as a devotional practice. Let me read Bhagavad Gita. But that is good, but that is not the enough intended use of this book. This book has far more utility than just reading it as an act of piety or as a devotional thing, that okay, I read one chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It is much more than that. What is it? Anusandadhami. Sandadhami means holding on, and Anusandadhami means according to your teachings, I will follow those teachings. I will learn from what you are teaching and then try to move in that line. You are giving me, showing me the directions. Now I will try to step into along with those directions and illumine my life accordingly. This is the meaning Anusandadhami. I will take it up as a teaching that is to be followed and train myself accordingly. This word Anusandadhami has many beautiful ideas connected with this. So we will continue with the discussion on these various conflicts that Bhagavad Gita gives the technique how to resolve and thus make our life focused on the truth and take it there. We saw some of the conflicts. A very important conflict that is expressed by Arjuna through a question that runs in 3rd, 4th, 5th and to some extent in 6th chapter too. And that is the conflict about what is superior. The work is superior or knowledge is superior. Work means what is told as Karma Yoga by Lord Krishna, and has mentioned Karma Yoga as a great thing by which one can illumine one's life, take it to its ultimate fruition. The efficacy of Karma Yoga has been very thoroughly, beautifully explained by Lord Krishna right in the 2nd chapter itself. But the doubts come, the conflicts arise, especially after praising that how the knowledge makes a person's life fulfilled. Arjuna wants to know that, well, why should I not be directly going to knowledge? Why should I have to go through this long, tedious path of performing my duties? Not only that, my duties involve all these terrible things like killing and fighting. Karmani ghore mam niyojasi keshava. You are praising knowledge, that, and yet telling me to follow this path of performing my allocated duties, which in my case is fighting this terrible war and killing people. Why are you doing this? Tell me tadekam vadanishchitya. So tell me one of these. He in fact accuses Krishna here. Vyamishreneva vakyena buddhim mohayasiva me. You are creating unnecessary conflicts in my mind. And see, Krishna is there to resolve the conflict. But Arjuna, because of his not clear understanding of it, and in fact assigning incorrectly a higher value to knowledge than doing one's duty, Arjuna thinks that you are, sometimes telling one thing, sometimes another thing, confusing me. What is it? Tell me one thing that I will be able to follow and that will be good to me. One teacher nicely said, that it is Lord Krishna is telling that the knowledge is superior to all actions. And if that is your opinion, why are you pushing me into all these terrible actions? Jayasi chet karmanas te mata buddhi. Te mata means in your opinion, if this buddhi or intellectual prowess is superior to action, why are you making me involved in this terrible activity? It is, see, the conflict in Arjuna's mind, it is like this. If I go to a doctor that this is my problem, doctor, and doctor tells that this is a very good medicine for you, and then that one, the other one, is not good as such. It's in fact a kind of poison, but you take that poison. What will be the state of my mind? This action is terribly binding, and this knowledge is freeing. You are telling me that, but at the same time telling me you do the action. Why are you not giving me the right thing? While actually telling the right thing, to me you say that you should go and get involved in this fighting, this battle. I don't get it. You are confusing me. Vyamishreneva vakyena. That by mixing these two things, you are confusing me. Tell me one thing. I am a simple man. That is what many people say. See, I am a simple man. And tell me just one thing, don't complicate things for me. And I will do that. But Arjuna actually doesn't want to do the one thing that Krishna has told him. That is why he is bringing up this topic again. This conflict is, suppose my teacher tells me to do this, this is the right thing for you to do, but I feel that other things are better to be done. I don't want to do exactly what the teacher is telling. So I conclude that, well, there are these other superior things. Then why is this teacher wanting me to do this? I kind of revolt against it. That you are my teacher, all right, and I will do whatever you tell. But here is the situation, and that is better. Why should I not do the better thing? So Krishna now is again resolving this conflict, telling that, look, it is that I am not confusing you, dearest Arjuna, but it is there are two different paths suitable for two different types of people. I have described that earlier also, that Dvividha Nishtha. The two different things are told to two different temperaments. And your temperament, your state requires that you should be working. You, just by giving up the activity, you do not get the state of a sannyasi. It is not that you can run away from the allocated work. And remember that nobody can stop working. This is not a choice at all. When I read this verse, it was many decades ago. It was a great revelation to understand it at depth. That Lord says, forget this idea that I will not work, because it is not a matter of choosing. Nobody can stop working even for a moment. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtatya karmakrit. That nobody even for a moment stop the work. It is why Koel may say, well, if I just sit like that and will not do any work, what is the problem? I am stopping work for, say, I can sit without working for some time. I may just lie down and sleep. I am not working. I can be like that for many hours, many days maybe. And why Lord is saying that you cannot stop work even for a moment? Well, you are not consciously doing any work, but see, your mind is thinking of thoughts. That's a work, mental work. Your breathing is going on. That is a work that is going on. Can you stop all that? You cannot stop that. It is nobody has the choice to stop working. It is you will be working. So therefore give up this idea that I will not work. And you will be forced to work. It is the nature that because there is this ego, this I am so and so, this sense, you will keep on working all the time. That I and world will keep on interacting. That is the work going on. So there is no possibility of stopping the work. Karyate hi avashyak karma. What a beautiful word, avashya. Means you are forced to do, you are a slave. And so you will be forced to do the work. There is no choice, you are bound, avashya. It is sarva prakriti jair gunai. By their very natural disposition, everybody is forced to do work. You cannot stop working. Even in normal sense, even if we don't go to that depth philosophically, still we can easily see that work is a necessity. If not, even if you have a lot of money and for money you don't need to do work for that, yet you have to do something. It is a necessity to give meaning to your living. You want to do something. It is if you are told don't work, it becomes a horrible situation. One comes to almost insanity if there is no scope given to work. It is even the Swamis, a Swami was posted at a center and there was nothing happening there, no work at all. So he told to the head of that center that either give me some work or release me from here, let me go to some other center where I can do something. Why? Well, if I just remain like this, I will get paralysis. It is, my limbs will become frozen. All I have, if no work at all, how can I survive? Oh well, you have food, this, that, everything is there. Why? No, work is a necessity in itself for almost all. Because of our ignorance, this I am, that will demand work. It is, you cannot really, there may be some exceptionals who seemingly are so idle that they won't be doing any work, at least from the external perspective. There is that story I had told earlier also, I think, that who is the most lazy person. So somebody said that, well, look, this person is just sitting like that is the laziest. Other person pointed out, no, You see the one that you see on the top of the tree, that is the laziest person. This man countered, how could that? He at least took the trouble of climbing the tree and got there, so cannot be laziest. No, that is not what happened. He didn't climb on the tree grew underneath, you see. So, that is therefore the laziest person. So, it is, even that person is mentally doing something, the mind is moving all around. So therefore, nobody can be without work. All the time we need to do something. So it is told to Arjuna that and unless you begin working, you cannot attain the state where the work will be not necessary anymore. When you complete the work, then you don't need to do any work. Till then, the work is not complete, so you will have to do the work. It is only when you have completed everything, then now you can rest. Na karmanam anarambhat naishkarmyam purushoshnute. Unless you begin the work, you will never be able to finish the work, and so you will not be in the state of that naishkarmya, or having completed all works. So therefore don't think that you will have the freedom to get away from it. And what will do, you will become a hypocrite. Just externally stopping the work, but keep the mind coming back again and again to it. What will happen? He says, Mithyacharasya uchyate. That is the life of a hypocrite. Externally, this person will not be doing any work, and it will appear that he has gone beyond work. And no, the mind will keep on thinking of objects of enjoyment, and thus that person will, although externally will not be running after those, will not be doing these works for it, yet his mind will be catching those things again and again. And that is the life, he says, of a hypocrite. So therefore, do not do that. It is what you should be doing, that real, this thing, way of approaching this is yastu indriyani manasa niyamya. Establish control on your sense organs and body by your mind, and then do the works. Karma yogaihi karma yogam asaktah sa vishishyate. The real doing of the work is thus keeping the senses and body under the control of mind and directing your thoughts and activity, physical activity, to this karma yoga. That has been described, that whatever is your duty, do it. Whatever comes to you as your duty, do that work without expecting the results. And thus, as you do this karma yoga, you are doing really the right work. Otherwise, you were working, but it was useless, wrong work. Now when you do, then it is work that is used for the right purpose. This is how one should understand this karma yoga, that it will gradually take you beyond this bondage of action. The bondage of action is a very funny thing. That is, you do some work, then it generates more work. Not that it is over. You think, is my work over? By the time you finish one work, 3 more works are there. You think, let me finish those. It is like that, what is called exponential, keeps on growing like that. And thus, there is no way you will be able to finish the actions in this way. But in Karma Yoga, the whole process is changed. The actions are completed without their breeding more actions for you. So the actions are one after another taken out of the way. You are now finishing the actions. Otherwise, it is like filling. You can keep on filling it all the time. A pot, fill that pot with water, make a big hole at the bottom of that pot. Now, how long will it take to fill that pot, Olina? You will never be able to fill that. So that person has the job security. Job will never be over. So that is how our works, they never become completed. Because not done right in the right way. Karma Yoga is doing work in such a way that they will get completed. And thus, the pot will be filled, and now you can sit relaxed. Hey, my job is done. Otherwise, the job doesn't get done, and you keep on working like a slave, thinking that this, after doing this, the work will be over. Never gets over. It is very difficult. People say that I will start spiritual practice once and these problems in this, my family and all that are finished. Then, right now I have a job, so a lot of my time gets occupied in that. And I don't like to do anything half-hearted. So let that job be finished. Once I get retired, then I will turn full attention to this spiritual practice. I haven't found a single person actually doing that. Because the person retires and something immediately fills the place. I wanted, but for many years I had desired to become a good photographer. I am telling this a real story, that and so now I retired, so I have some time. Of course, spiritual practice is, I have kept it on the list, but I want to first go to that photography school and complete. This is just 1 year course, so after 1 year, but then now you have completed the course, now you have to go on taking photographs and then publish them and so forth. So it is then so many other things in between, they come to fill the space, so you don't find time at all. It is I say it is important, no doubt, but life is too complex these days. So I am getting, these days one should do good to the community. So I am running for this town council members, this thing. So that I will be able to work for the community. So all these ostensibly very good these excuses get found for. So the work never becomes over. But if you do it as karma yoga, then it gets over. How? Because if you are doing work, there are different ways of karma yoga. Anything depending on one's constitution can be taken up. But then what happens there? Now you are going in the right direction, and thus your journey will come to completion. Then you will not have to do work at all. Otherwise, you keep on driving because you are going in wrong direction. You will never find their address. So go on like that again and again. In our Providence, the roads are a bit funny, So many one ways here, there. So old city, you see. So people, and then the names are confusing. Angel Street and South Angel Street. So some people and on these phones and GPS, it's sometimes auto correct. It comes there, and that lady just didn't read the S, read just the Angel Street. Okay, so we found it. So went there, and it is of course a different thing. Then again, how to go from there, because you cannot drive in the reverse direction, this, that, so it is all. So again came back, then somehow we think in Providence it is a sin to write the nameplates of the roads, so it is, which is the road where to take the board sign is there, but it is somewhere in the corner. Unless you will not be able to see it, and if you know, then you don't need to see it. So it is something like that. So it took her a long time. Here go, or like so our work is like that, and goes on increasing and never completed. But karma yoga, now you are going in the right direction. So you will complete your work. Then the vehicle of work, its use is done for you. You can come out of it. So this is the way. Unless you do this work, there is no way you can get to that ideal of knowledge and going beyond work. So this is that he says that is the person who is special. So you do niyatam kuru karmatvam karma jayo hi akarmanaha sharira yatra pichate na prasiddhet akarmanaha. That whatever work comes to you by your professional abilities, or by perchance you get that as your job, do it. Whatever work comes to you, continue to do that. It is better than not doing anything. And if you do not do work, even your physical existence will be in jeopardy. Therefore, work. And remember, the next verse is the key verse in this, that the work that you do in the spirit of yoga will not bind you. Yajñarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. That when you do the work as yajna, then from this verse begins the beautiful description of this course of Karma Yoga, how, according to one's situation, ability, everybody has scope. Nobody is denied. Wherever you may be, the Karma Yoga is capable of picking you from there and taking you to the highest goal. Whatever station in life one may be, yajna is this staircase that goes from the basement and the bottommost level to the ultimately to the roof. You can join anywhere, wherever you are. So it is whenever you are on the stair upwards direction, you will ultimately reach the roof. Go on climbing. Do not expect to join the stair at a floor where you are not. Suppose I am sitting in the basement and say, well, I will join this staircase, but I want to start climbing only after third floor. So, but fellow, you are on the basement. How will you go first to the third floor? I don't know about that. I don't like to start here. I want to start at the third floor only. Then sit here. What can be done? This is the problem, like Arjuna's situation. He is not at a stage where he can give up work. But he is saying that, well, give me that path of knowledge directly. No, you cannot start yajna. Yajna is the system of gradual elevation, spiritual evolution, as a step-by-step course. Like you have, you want to do master's degree and you are just 3-4 years old. Then what should one do? Get into preschool, get into kindergarten, and then you will get into first grade, second grade, third grade, and then after being in the school like that for 14-15 years, you will clear the high school. Then you go to undergrad and spend 4 years there. Then you will, if you survive all this, you get to the master's course. Thus, you will get there. It is not possible that you suddenly at the age of 4 years you get admitted to master's course. If you are very capable, maybe you will get 1 or 2 double promotions and all that. That's possible if you are capable. But not like this. But one imagines, I am not joking. Actually, I used to think, I told also that to my parents, because one of my much elder cousin used to stay at our place, and then he was doing something, masters or something like that, and so he used to go out anytime, come back, and I never saw him doing his homework and such things. And then my parents used to, after me, hey, did you finish homework? This. So I used to feel this torture. Why? And comparison, look that my cousin is so free. I told him, I don't want to study in the third grade. I want to go to master's class directly. I want to go to college directly. How nice, that nobody says anything to him. To me, as soon as it is dusk, you say, come in inside home, enough. That he comes out back by 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, nobody says a word to him. And to me, so much of homework. And he never does any homework and all that. What is this? I thought that it is terribly unfair. So, but that is the course that I have to go through. You cannot go to master's degree unless you complete all these intermediate steps. So Arjuna wants to be like that okay, let me go directly to that stage. Krishna says yajna, sacrifice. Yajna means sacrifice. What you have to sacrifice? Swami Ranganathananda uses that word nicely. Nothing much. What do you have to give up? Just give dumbness. Nothing else. Just give up your dumbness. Who has problem with giving up dumbness? Do you want to keep your dumbness? No. Let it go. That is, but we think that no, my dumbness is so dear to me, let me keep it. It is something like that. The yajna is that. Give up. And give up this ignorance. Do the work and offer it. It is so good that the descriptions here are so wonderful. First step is at least learn to give for what you get. And simple things that acknowledge that look, the sun gives you light, so much good thing you get due to sun, and doesn't send you any bill, It is so acknowledge that that is the sacrifice that say at least I am indebted to you, O sun, for giving me all these things. That will have an effect on your mind. Then it says that everything, whosoever, your life is, you are not island unto yourself. Your life depends on coexistence of so many things, including small creatures, big creatures, the various natural forces, all contribute to your survival. Why? When they give them back at least for what you get, and just acknowledge. So there is this concept of yajna. We just pour oblation in fire in the name of those. That makes us remember these things, that we are indebted to all these. So this is form of yajna. We are living in community. So whenever a person here needs something and we can do something for that, do it. And learn it to do without expectation. This is a learning. It is not easy. The expectations creep in. So first let it creep in. Consciously don't try to have expectations. They creep in. That is why people feel, oh, we did so much for them. But when my turn came, nobody was ready to help me. It is one of our devotees, she came in tears because some incident happened at their home, and she frantically called people, but see that it was sudden something and people were busy in other things, so nobody could come. And she said, look, I had to manage all that, nobody came. I am always helpful to people, and it is a simple thing that they could have come. I was not asking for any money, but he came. It was now, and she was so much emotionally in tatters that, and she left messages to me that I want to talk to you and all that. So, and she is in India, so I had to find out a proper time. Then I called her and then said, well, why did you expect? You just see that you have done your part. Nobody is your slave, that just because you want them to come and help, that they must come. And think, isn't it so many people have helped you to whom you have not done anything? In life we are helped by so many sources with whom we really have no connection, and we never may get any chance to repay the help that they had rendered to us. What did you do ever for those people? Nothing. So think that, well, you are doing it to those people. And it is, why do you expect? It is expectations that bind us. And do not keep any such expectation. It is easier said than done. I am talking about a person who is very spiritual, a very good devotee. But if such things can happen to this kind of person as well, imagine, the condition of those who have never heard of this discipline, karma yoga and such things, how big a jolt they would be getting. So, because of expectations. So, learn to give. Expectations will bring misery. Giving makes you happy. So give without caring whether you get or you don't get. Keep on giving. This is how one gradually becomes free from these tentacles of attachments and bondage. Just by doing this work, imperceptibly our awareness changes. It happens, it does happen, friends, and you cannot really make me believe otherwise. I have seen so many cases that it happens actually. I am not talking about Swamis. You may say, well, it may happen in case of Swamis. No, I am talking about very regular householder devotees. Because of following this discipline, the life and gradually, slowly but surely undergoes change. The priorities of working undergo change. It is amazing to see that the person is transformed to such an extent that as if that old person is no longer there. Just by this is this touch of karma yoga is like that touchstone. It changes the life. It is a very, very efficacious tool, and thus you will resolve the conflict between this work and knowledge. In the next chapters, like 4th chapter, 5th chapter, this topic continues. Karma yoga, work. There is no conflict between sannyasa and working. It is in the 5th chapter, and Lord says that look, sannyasa and karma yoga both are very good. And actually it is only the childish people, they see the two as different. The wise, Sankhya Yoga Prithak Bala Pravadante Na Panditaha. That it is, Sankhya means this path of knowledge and path of karma or this yoga, they are not different. It is, you have to see the connection in that. If you say, think of a bud and a flower, are they same or different? The bud gradually grows into a flower. So you call, hey, look at that bud, you look at that. And then one day that very thing you start calling as flower. So that is how the life evolves, by following this path, and you end up in this established knowledge. So the two are not different. You continue with your actions. These chapters are so full of wonderful teachings, that how this whole perspective changes. In 4th chapter you see this, that it is what is day for ordinary people is the night for the person of that illumination. Why? Because whatever these ignorant people see as meaningful, this fellow has no interest in them. He sees night there, nothing worth having. It is, it is like that. The children, they have interest in many little things. Grown up, those very children, when they grow up, they lose interest in all these things. Baby is okay, my Barbie, my doll, whole life is in that. But then they get thrown somewhere in the attic or gone. They are not even remembered. That is how when the knowledge dawns, in ignorance you feel so many things very important. When the knowledge dawns, those things are no longer, they assume any importance at all, nothing worthwhile therein. So that is how the whole perspective of this person, the priorities, they all change. It is, and others, they naturally, if somebody has different priorities than what is normally seen in people, then they call that, well, this person has gone insane. Like Sri Ramakrishna, that it was said by that one of those Brahma devotees, Pratap Chandra, that he used to tell, don't listen much to Sri Ramakrishna, that because of constantly saying God, God, God thing, he has gone insane. And Sri Ramakrishna said that, you were saying like that thinking of God, whose wisdom makes everything full of wisdom, and thinking of that God, that Chaitanya, I became Achaitan, I became insane. And you day and night keep on thinking about money and these enjoyments, thinking of all that, you remain sane and I become insane. What kind of logic you have? So it is, they really, the conflicts about that get resolved so well here. And this is further clarified in the 6th chapter. And 6th chapter deals with some more conflicting problems in our life. And this, the 6th chapter, it brings out this idea that who is sannyasi, and not somebody who takes these occult robes or gets some somewhat uncommon name, Swami, Aghananda, Bhagananda, all those funny names, So it is. You can. The names are. Again, we have to. The number of Swamis increasing, and so you have to find new names. You see, so some such names will have to be found out. Somebody was telling, so let us start doing like this. That Swami Khandana Bhavabandhana. So, because we have to now, same names cannot be given, so some new names have to be made. So, that doesn't, Bhagavad Gita clearly says that the sannyasi doesn't depend on the color of your clothing or the name that you take. What makes a sannyasi, and this verse is really great verse. Anashritah karma phalam karyam karma karotiyah sa sannyasi sa yogi cha na niragnir na chakriyah. And this verse is really an example of how Bhagavad Gita puts things in a succinct manner, very few words, and everything is covered. All these, nothing is left to be told about it. It is anashrita karma phalam, without taking recourse to the results of the work. Anashrita karma phalam. This word can be spoken of for a long time. What is meaning of anashrita? But I am skipping that for this thing of time, consideration of time. It is, but this idea is that you do your work without getting bothered by what benefit I will get out of it. Doing work like that, and karyam karma, that work which is to be done, not what I like, need not be. And the work that needs, that is the meaning of karyam karma. That which has come to you as your duty at that point, in that station of life, in those circumstances, either determined by your surroundings, your society, your health condition, and availability. All that determines that you have, this is the work that you have to do, whether you like it or you don't like it, whether it brings you lot of praise or no, what they call thankless job. Do whatever such work comes to you, karyam karma. Not getting involved into many activities just because you like to do. No, it is people in our ignorance, we like to do many things because that work gives us this false sense of satisfaction that I am doing something for the society. So you don't need to do it. Just be quiet. But our desires, they keep on making us find new avenues of doing work. So, okay, let me take care of it. well, you don't really need to meddle in it, but then you feel restless. So you go and start doing that. Many such, really there is no need for you. It is not karyam karma. But because of your desire to do lot of work, you take it up. A karma yogi doesn't get involved into more work than necessary. As Sri Ramakrishna nicely puts it in that special Bengali style, Jeta na korile noe. That without doing it is impossible. Only do that much work. It is, of course, this is at a much higher level, but the idea is this karyam karma. That which work has been either given to you or by your station in life it has come to you. Do that work alone, that much, and as much is necessary. And do not do anything more than necessary. It is, we take up many things out of our attachments and then think that it is, they need my help. Nobody needs. But out of our attachments we go to do that. It is, there was nobody to take the work of this organization and they requested me. So I thought, yes, I can do it. This person becomes secretary of a dozen organizations. It is it necessary for him? Well, not at all. But the desire is there, and then that gives a false sense of I am so important. We feel that I am needed for the world. A very false sense. Gradually with karma yoga, one thing surely happens, that you know that nobody requires you. Because of our attachment to the world, to the things around, it comes as a bolt to us. We feel that we are needed for the world. It is, without me, how the world will work, you see. It will go to pieces. Billions of people came before us, died, the world is still running. All those, they say, nice statement. All those people, graves are full of them who thought that they were indispensable. So it is like that. Nobody is indispensable. In our language, in Marathi, there is a nice song, a nice poem that Ramakrishna hi आले गेले जग का त्यांविन होसची पडले. That Rama, Krishna and such great personalities came and went. As the world became empty because they are gone, not there, it is going on. Without them the world went on well. But this Yogatmananda has the idea, without me how this universe will run. I am important here. And nobody cares. It is, a person dies, for a couple of days people chant the praises. Okay, what a great person he was, and wow, he left a big vacuum, cannot be filled. After a week nobody even remembers. And that is how it is, there is nothing strange in that. Because we actually are not needed for the world. It is our misconception. Swami Vivekananda in Karma Yoga writes in that passage, it is actually a speech, that not even a single creature crawling depends on my mercy or my help. Nobody, not a single beggar ever depended on the alms that I am giving. It is my privilege that I am able to do it. It is for me all this, it is. The world never needed me. Nobody needs me. But this is our sense of attachment to the world. We create this thing like that I am needed for this person, I am needed for this. We therefore make the world smaller, we immediately realize that this whole world may not need me, understandable. But then within the world, I make a world. When I want to be, say, a tennis champion, then what do? I limit the championship to my block, where nobody else is playing much tennis. So it is, since I cannot win any other championship, I limit my field. And so we do exactly that. The world will not need me. But let me shrink that world where I will be needed. And we call that home, home. At least at home I will be needed, I will be missed. And we live in that illusion that at home at least they will care for me. Not there also actually. When this truth dawns, it comes with a big jolt that I am not needed. It depresses a person. Just to avoid that depression coming to that person, the relatives and everybody say that, oh, without you how this could happen and all that. That is not to be taken literally, it is just to make you feel good that these sentences are uttered. Otherwise, who cares actually? Nobody wants us. It is, but we labor under this illusion and cause a lot of conflicts in our lives. Be free, We'll be free when we know that nobody ever needs me. And then you are free. It is the Lord is there to take care of us and care of everybody. In spite of our meddling, actually, the Lord is able to take care. And we think that we are doing it. God is there, but God may be busy with other things. This thing I am taking care of. So it is, nothing depends on us. This is called karyam karma. That do it as sacrifice. Do the work that has come to you as without expecting any result. And that is sannyasi. That is this second line of this verse says that sa sannyasi, sa yogi cha, na niragni, just to complete it. And not those who is just taking the external signs of sannyasi. And that person is not to be counted as sannyasi. Here is the real sannyasi. Of course, that person also can be sannyasi if that fits in this definition. Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti. And not that having these external signs of sannyasa, they are barred from being called sannyasa. See, no. And this is the criterion. So whosoever fits in that is sannyasi. And it is he says here that how, see, this aruruksho muner yogam karma karanam uchyate yoga rudhasya tasyaiva shamak karanam uchyate. A great idea that what I was telling earlier, that same bud becomes a flower. And the same seed gradually grows into a tree. So you see that at one level of evolution, karma karanam uchyate, aruruksho means the one who wants to get onto this path, climb onto this path. The means for that person is karma karanam uchyate, the one who wants to get onto the vehicle of yoga. That aruruksho munehe, the word muni, see, Bhagavad Gita, every word is so significant. It is, I am not getting into the details, but see that there the karma, your work is the means to get onto this vehicle of yoga. Once you have got onto this yoga vehicle, then now you can sit and relax. It is for getting onto the flight, okay, you got your bag, this thing checked in, ran there, walked, and then got into your seat, and now you don't have to walk, just sit there peacefully. So to get into the flight, you have to do all this walking, running, whatever. Once you got into your seat, now the walking is not necessary, sit there peacefully. So same person at one stage, action is the means, and for that very person at a different stage, when this stage is over, now shamak karanam uchyate, now sitting peacefully with your seat belt put on, that is what you have to do. Shama is like putting your seat belt, you cannot then move about here and there. So control, what it means is control now is the means. So it is this 6th chapter, and I will conclude with that, although there are, because the time is almost over, or rather more than that, but this is the conflict between self-effort and grace. Should I do self-effort or not? If everything comes by grace, then what is my role in it? It is, and this, we take recourse to this argument many times, that, well, why are you not doing meditations regularly? Then the intelligent answer that I get is, but, well, without the wish of God, how can anybody do anything, you say? The God is not giving enough inspiration. When God arranges everything, certainly, you say, I will do. It's all what is called tautology, so it is, doesn't make any sense. So, but this argument does come, that should we be up and doing, taking up responsibility? Bhagavad Gita at this stage in the 6th chapter says, yes, uddhare atmanatmanam natmanam avasadayet. Just lift yourself. Uddharet atmana, by yourself. Don't look for help here, there. Take up if you are helping yourself, everything will start helping you. If not, no help will come. It is Uddhared Atmanatmanam. I was tremendously helped by this verse, that all take up the responsibility in a manly way, that yes, it is my responsibility. It is whose responsibility is it primarily to make my life good? What? Exactly, she knows very well that it is my responsibility. Primarily it is our responsibility. So take it up. Uddharet Atmanatmanam. Let us have no confusion about it at all. Well, it is the grace of God. Yes, grace of God is very good. You put in your efforts. Whatever happens is by the grace of God, not by your efforts. But you put your efforts. That is the idea. So, do not cheat yourself. That is the main crux of this. That in the name of, well, everything will happen by the grace of God. If I am not feeling like doing, that is because God doesn't want me to do anything. It is self-deception. And Arjuna at that point might be falling into that trap. So do not expect this thing like God will come and pick you up. It is, yes, God will come and pick you up. But first let your hands start doing it, your mind. Let Uddharet Atmanatmanam. And then Atmayuhaya. You are your own friend and you are your enemy too. So this is a lesson to be learned, that we should put in all our efforts. Well, this grace of God, what do you know about grace of God? It is something that is not that you can control. Whatever you can control, try to control that. It is, and then whatever happens, well, it happened due to grace of God. If you put in your best efforts, that's it. It is, we many times cheat ourselves by this idea of, well, everything happens by the grace of God. Are we at that stage where the ego is completely smothered out? Otherwise we say, I did it and I did it and I am like that and I am like that and I want to do this. The grace of God is only brought in to just what I should have done but I didn't do, to as a means of self-protection. And so in Vedanta, that luxury is denied. You have to take responsibility for whatever you need to do. It is nobody's responsibility. So there are so many different ways that Bhagavad Gita, in the 12th chapter, another very beautiful conflicting situation comes due to Arjuna's question about worshipping God with qualities and form or God without qualities and form. What is superior? So very beautiful idea. I am not dwelling into that today because there isn't much time. So I conclude. Many thanks, friends, for this opportunity to think on these beautiful ideas, and let us hope we are able to resolve all these conflicts in our life by anusandhana, by following these teachings of Lord Krishna. Of course, if you have some great questions bothering you, then you can bring them up.
Can you add?
You can take the microphone.
Explain the one more verse.
Please take the
4.18. Karmani akarmani pasya.
Oh, dear.
Add just one verse.
I spoke about it a little bit. Karmani akarmayah pashyet, akarmani cha karmayah. That in action you see inaction, and in inaction you see action. That is a paradoxical statement, that how, if something is action, how can you see inaction in it? And the idea is just what you are referring to as I. When you feel you are working, now just think what is working. And the limbs are moving, and the body is moving, the mind is moving, but you are none of that. So are you working? No. So in action, then you will see inaction. I am giving lecture. Are you? No, the lips are moving, the vocal cords are moving, the air is coming and going out, and then listeners, they are nicely sleeping and all that. It is so. It is. I am not doing anything. It is I am neither mind nor body. So in this ongoing work, you see that I am not doing anything. Thus, is there therefore any need for me to feel exhaustion? No, because I haven't done any work. So why should I get exhausted? Akarmani cha karmayah. A person may seemingly not be doing any work, but the breathing is going on, the mind is whirling around, the work is there going on. It is so. Seeming inaction also contains action, and seeming action also has this inaction. We have to see where what is active and what is not active. That is that confusion. I heard a nice joke that since they told it in Canada, they told it from the Canadian perspective, and that on near Canadian coast, the message came to the Canadian side that please move your ship because we may collide, we are too close, so you move 15 degrees north. The Canadian side replied, you see, why don't you move 15 degrees south? Then the American ship, the message came, we advise you move 15 degrees north. The Canadian side again retorted, you move 15 degrees south. American side said, we are that big aircraft carrier Lincoln, the second largest fleet in the world, with all this hundreds of bombers on us, many frigates, fighter frigates. We demand that you move 15 degrees north. The Canadian side replied, We are lighthouse. It is your call. We are a lighthouse. We are not mobile. We are not moving. We are a lighthouse. So what is moving and what is not moving? That viveka, that discernment is very important. We consider that which is not moving as moving, and that which is actually moving, we think that it is not moving. So this is where that answer lies, Karmani akarmayah pashyet, akarmani cha karmayah. It is sabuddhiman manushyeshu sayuktah sakrishna karmakrit. That last word is great. Sakrishna karmakrit. Such a person has finished all works. Nothing else. Who sees the things right, now that person is free, has finished all that needs to be done in life, because this has achieved the purpose of life. Unless one achieves the purpose of life, work does not end. The life may end, but the same work will keep on whirling us around, and next birth after birth, till we reach the destination. And so that is this message. Let us do work like Karma Yogi, and then it will all get done. Any other question?
Will you please throw a little bit of light on Saguna Brahman and Nirguna Brahman?
I throw a light. If I throw the light on Nirgun Brahman, what will it be? It will be Sagun Brahman. It is like telling, draw the picture of formless God. So if you draw the picture of formless God, it is a form. It is like that, Nirgun and Sagun. It is, everybody has these aspects, that there is a part in us which can be described in attributes, and there are aspects which cannot be described in attributes. It is, of course, about God, but even with anybody, with anything, you can see that there is an aspect, because God is involved in everything, and therefore everything has an aspect of Nirguna to it, that without any qualities or attributes. You can describe, for example, Yogatmananda, that pompous looking, and it is putting on such clothing, and you can draw a picture like that. You can tell some qualities, that keeps on giving lectures. So it is, what will that be?
That is with form, attributes.
That is with attributes, with quality. But does it exhaust Yogatmananda? No.
Isn't it very ambivalent then? I mean, there is both sides.
But both together make the truth. Not that this or this. Our problem is that confusion and conflict comes because we want to say this is right and that is wrong. No, one is supported by other. Both are right.
Complementary.
Both are complementary. That is what Sri Ramakrishna told Master Moshai almost in the first visit and the conversations, that M was asked, do you believe in God with form or God without form? and thought that is it a question? I mean, how can God be with form as well as without form? He said somehow that I like formless aspect. That is very good. Thakur says that's very good. But never for a moment think that those who are worshipping with form, they are doing anything wrong. That God is with form, without form. The same thing. Both are right. It is, and both together is gives a proper picture. Both together and beyond. So Thakur says, he is with form, he is without form, and much more. Anantam, yeah. So that is Tulsidas has a very nice, very beautiful Tulsidas style verse on this, with such charming figurative description that he said, well, both are infinite. Aguna saguna dui brahma sarupa akatha anadi ananta rupa. Both saguna and nirguna, aguna saguna, both are infinite. Anadi, ananta. You can never have a measurement of either of it. And both are great. I value both of them. I salute both of them. But in my opinion, actually, mere mat naam bado duhute. In my opinion, the name is superior to both of this, because if you have the name, then you can capture both of these. So therefore he says, I have given the proper place for all of these. Hiya nirguna nayana nisaguna. In my heart, in my understanding, I have given the place to Nirguna. This Brahman without attributes, without qualities. Hiya Nirguna. But when I deal with my sense organs and all, Nayana Nisaguna. Rasana Nama Anam. And in between, I have this rasana, my tongue. On that I have given the place to name of God. So that is how he says that this is the name is like a Deepa Dehari Dwar, that it is a lamp kept at the what is it called? Dehri. Chowkat. That threshold. Sill or threshold.
That is chokat.
But the chokat is not an English word,
That is Bangla.
Yeah. So I was looking for an English word. So it is a threshold that you keep a lamp on that threshold. Then what happens? The light comes inside as well as outside. Sagun as well as Nirgun. So Naam is that lamp kept on Jiha Dehari Dwar. This tongue is this Dehari, this threshold. So Bhitar Bahar, inside and outside, it fills both with light. So that is how it is, you see. Very difficult to explain these things when one meditates and gradually some understanding starts coming in.
Swamiji, one question actually. You said that nobody depends on us and nobody needs us. So what about doing our work? I mean, when the old parents, they depend on their son or daughter, and the children, the small children, for their upbringing, when they depend on their mother. So I want an explanation.
It is that kind of misunderstanding the parents and the children, and they are somehow filled with. What happens if they suppose it has happened so many times everywhere. Somehow the parents die. What happens? The children also die. Somebody brings them up. It is so. Were those parents necessary?
Somebody comes and helps them.
Yeah, it is. They help them. Everything, God takes care of everything, you see. We think that without me it will not happen. And God takes care of all. There was the story of a saint. He wanted to renounce, but his wife had passed away, leaving a little child. So he was under the impression, and that commonly happens. I mean, well, if I give up, renounce the world and take to monastic life now, who will take care of this little child? Then one day, as it happened, he saw in Indian homes, it is a common sight. You see lizards, house lizards on the walls. Here it is not very commonly seen. If she sees in their house, she will get scared, you know. But it is, you see a house lizard, and then he saw that they lay eggs. So from one of the eggs of that lizard, a baby lizard was coming out. And that baby lizard comes out, and immediately a little insect was there, it grabs that insect. That moment, and said, look, you know that God knows that this lizard, this is coming out from the egg, is getting hatched, and a lizard is coming out, and it has arranged food for that lizard also. And I labor under this misunderstanding that if I do not feed, who is going to feed? Who feeds us? Who feeds us?
God.
Yeah, and then is that one who feeds us is not capable of feeding others? It is really, I tell that incident, it was such an eye-opener for me. And I cannot forget that. It happened with our cook long back, that he wanted, getting old, so he wanted to give up the job and go back to his village and so forth. So he just said, now I cannot do much work. Anyway, you will throw me out. Because I am not able to do much work now. So let me go respectfully, honored with keeping my honor. I am going away. So I was a junior Swami at that time, and that idea came up that our ashrama, we are giving him salary and food. So I just asked him that, well, is there arrangement, who is that do you have enough arrangement for your food and all that? And he replied, you see, the one who has been feeding for so many years will continue to feed, and the day he decides not to feed, who has the capacity to feed me? Nobody has. Nobody has. A person may have all the food around, is not capable of eating anything. What will you do? It is, when God decides, and no more food for this fellow, nobody has capacity to give a morsel of food. I am sorry, these ideas appear to be kind of very unrealistic, but they are very real.
Thank you.
Maharaj, in this light, as you mentioned, Rakhal Maharaj was a householder when he took monastic vows. I mean, if you raise like who will take care of the son or the wife at that point, but it worked out.
Things work out, it is, nobody waits for us. The world does not wait. Yeah, nobody is indispensable, nobody is necessary as such. Correct? What happened? Finish? Done?
I was asking if she will sing.
Who? Shalini? The two are singing together, very good. Okay.
Separately.
I saw an announcement long back in